To. I am Wilma Obuobi-Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Caleb Kuda.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, former Greek Minister Dr. Owusu Yakutu picks up nomination forms to contest the NPP flag bearership race. Also coming up, Northton MP Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa describes as insensitive and unacceptable the retaining of the COVID-19 levy by government.
We want to assure you that we remain unperturbed. We have rather been motivated by a series of developments.
Still ahead, Ho Teaching Hospital appeals to stakeholders to help decongest emergency ward as overwhelming cases recorded puts pressure on the facility and equipment.
Pertaining to our bed occupancy rate, our bed numbers, and then we need space, expansion of the emergency that we can.
And later, residents of Teshi call on government to immediately rehabilitate inner roads in the Lejokuku municipality. Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we are on Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. In the Bruno region, you're listening to us on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we are on Adrimpa 99.9 FM in Inkarie. In the Volta region, on Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi and Freedom 88.1 FM in Sugakopa. In the Northern region, we on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East, we on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Northeast, we on Nobia FM 98.1 FM in Nalerigu.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, says government ought to provide more details on plans to replace textbooks with laptops this year. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, announced that textbooks and other learning materials would be installed on laptops to be used during lessons. He said the move is aimed at improving the learning experiences of students. Reacting to this, the General Secretary for NAT, Thomas Musa, said details such as source of funding and rollout must be made public.
Announcement can be made. We don't know the details of it. For example, the quantities involved, the timing of it, the infrastructure, among other related matters, as to how the operationalization of it, the source of funding it, and all those things have not been made available. To the extent that we don't have the details of it, we would rather want to get the details, then we can take it out from there. As it stands now, it is only an announcement that has been made that laptops will be supplied to the students in the SHS level, we have about 1.2, 1.3 thereabouts, will be given to them. That is the announcement. So once we have that announcement, number one, the Ministry of Education will need to provide details of it. And then the Ghana Education Service there will need to give how it intends to implement it. So once the Vice President has announced it from the presidential level, the next level is to give the policy guidelines to this particular thing. Then the third level will be the implementation guideline. So the first aspect has been done. The Minister of Education will have to take it up, give us details of it. Then the GES will then provide the implementation guidelines. And then that will run down to the regional level, the district level, the CISO level, then up to the school level.
Mr. Musa added that the proposal is practicable.
When it comes to the SHS, as for the issue of practical, the practical aspect of it, technically speaking, I can say that almost all the SHS we have in Ghana, they have this electricity. Because the nature of the SHS is that if you have an SHS school without electricity, it will be very difficult for it to operate because of the electricals and other components and other learning aspects that they normally do. And so technically speaking, If not all, I can say that at least over 90% over the SDJ schools we have, that have electricity.
Thomas Musa is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers.
Let's take you to the Volta region because the emergency unit of the whole teaching hospital is appealing to stakeholders to put in place adequate measures to decongest the ward. According to the acting head of department at the emergency ward of the whole teaching hospital, Dr. Pleasance Ampim, although the ward records a low mortality rate, they are still in need of beds and a larger space to accommodate the growing number of patients. Dr. Ampim also noted that the unavailability of some equipment for service delivery is putting clients at risk.
The state of the emergency ward is going to include total attendances, our admitted cases, our mortality cases, our referrals, and then our mortalities that we have. Currently, we do about 600 attendances every single month. Out of this number, we admit around 400 monthly. Our mortalities have been on a declining side for the past 1 year, and we set up a goal last year to have a single-digit mortality rate. We have achieved that largely to a very, very large extent. Our mortalities are currently in the single digits. The last mortality rate we had was 6.1, as opposed to last year where it was almost above 10. So currently we are doing well into our mortalities. Some of the challenges we have still exist, pertaining to our bed occupancy rate, our bed numbers, and then we need space, expansion of the emergency, that we can admit more cases as well.
That was acting head of department at the emergency ward of the whole teaching hospital, Dr. Pleasance Ampim.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is cautioning the general public not to hand over fiscal cash to any worker of the company as it begins phase 2 of its nationwide revenue mobilization exercise today. The exercise, which will cover debt recovery, meter integrity checks, illegal connections, and meter monitoring, is expected to end on Friday, June 2, 2023. In an interview with Citi News, the Public Relations Officer of ECG for the Tema region, Sechua Mensah, says no worker of the company will demand from customers to pay cash.
The ECG is embarking on a national revenue mobilization exercise. We did one earlier on in the year, and we are repeating it again. The Tema region is part of this exercise. We are undertaking this in almost all our districts. We are looking at all categories of ECG customers, be it individuals, small businesses, large businesses. We are in the business of trading. Basically, we get our product from one place, we have to distribute and then make money to be able to pay off where we get our supply from, as well as the people who transmit or transport the supply to us. So we are basically into the business of trading. Now, if you are in trade and customers are constantly using your product or taking your product on credit, eventually you might have to fold up because the debt will get to unsustainable levels and you cannot keep crediting from your suppliers. So ECG needs money. We have sold products to some customers who have not yet paid for it, and we need to recover these monies. We need to ensure that we remain in business. This is going to last for 1 week from today, 29th of May, to Friday, the 2nd of June. This activity will be ongoing across all ECG's operational areas. And again, in the Tema region, we'll be doing this in almost all our districts. We hope that it would go well. We hope that, like the one we did earlier on in the year, things were generally things went well. We had few instances of people preventing our staff from accessing their meters. We came across some irregularities. For instance, somebody had applied, or some customers had applied for meters for residential purposes, and we realized from the field work that they were using these meters for commercial purposes. Mind you, residential and commercial are on different rates, so that is not acceptable. We saw quite a number of that. We sought to correct them.
You heard that the Public Relations Officer of ECG for the Tema region, Sechua Mensah.
The MC for Ketu South, Maxwell Kofi Lugudo, has told City News the Assembly has established a safe haven for individuals who may face the impact of tidal waves this year. This decision comes in response to concerns expressed by residents regarding the potential threat of severe shore erosion. Mr. Lugudo emphasized that this measure is temporary and designed to protect lives while the government works towards finding a permanent solution to the issue of tidal waves in the Adina, Blakusu, Amuchinu, and neighboring communities. Benjamin Aklama has more in the following report.
The Ministry of Works and Housing knows the sense of urgency for undertaking the second phase of the project to protect Adina, Agavaji, Salakupe, and Amichuni communities and others to the east of Blekuso. To this end, the ministry has commenced urgent steps to implement the second phase of the project. The ministry has finalized the evaluation of the relevant proposals to start works under the second phase of the project. It is important to note that in April 2021, a technical team from the Hydrological Services Department of the ministry, upon my directive, traveled to the affected communities to engage the municipal chief executive and some community leaders on the matter of the implementation of the second phase.
That was an announcement made by the Minister for Works and Housing, Francis Asenso-Boakye, in 2022 regarding a sea defense project aimed at safeguarding parts of the Ketu South Municipality, Keta Municipality, and the Anglo District from being eroded into the Atlantic Ocean along the eastern coast of Ghana. Unfortunately, the implementation of the second phase of the project has not yet taken place. This situation has led to concerns among coastal residents in the Volta region who fear potential consequences from the sea this year. However, Maxwell Kofi Lugudo, the MCE for Ketu South, has assured that measures are being taken to protect lives during this season.
Yes, as at now, we have a temporary place for them at the energy. Anytime anything happens now, again, unfortunately happens, we'll quickly let those who doesn't have a place to stay there. We provided water there. There is a place of convenience also there. Apart from that, the project that we promised of relocation, it's ongoing. It's only that it's raining now, so the contractor is putting a hold for a time. So we are fully prepared for them, and whatever will happen.
As an interim solution, the Assembly is proposing an initial dredging of the sea as a temporary measure.
If you ask me what for me, it's not a matter of building sea defense. You know, I discussed this with some senior officers that dredging the sea will be less expensive than the sea defense. The sea defense, for instance, where it is now, if they should continue to even a flower border, it should be a joint exercise so that the sea will not worry the people in Togo. So it's a project on its own. But for now, if there is a fund, there should be dredging of the sea. For instance, if you go to the seaside now, where the services company is operating, they've been dredging that place so the sea waves doesn't come across the sand at that particular area. So I will, for now, immediate solution, if there is fund, there should be that kind of dredging of the sea.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Benjamin Aklama.
Well, my colleague Benjamin Aklama joins me over the phone lines to give us a bit of details on the issue of tidal waves. Good afternoon, Benjamin. Many thanks for joining us. Now, what can you report? What do the residents in these areas, what do they do in time past during a tidal wave?
So just to provide a bit of perspective, the tidal waves is just an invasion of people's homes, people who live along the coastal line. Their homes are often invaded by the sea in times like this when the sea levels rise. and the tides ride into their homes. And this impacts their buildings, it sweeps away their walls and their properties. And so people in these areas normally would look for higher ground to relocate to in the meantime until the water levels recede and then they return to their communities. There's been calls for a permanent relocation of such communities, but that has not yielded much report. In the past, we know of several communities that used to live very close to the shore, which do not exist anymore. Those areas are permanently taken over by the Atlantic Ocean. And the worry is that more lands will be consumed by the sea and that nature. So in times like this, normally, the people will normally just move to higher ground and return later. The reason for their return is mostly because they ply their trade along the shore. They are mostly fishermen, and the proximity to the water gives them easy access to their source of livelihood. And so mostly you find that they struggle to relocate entirely from those areas. The practice normally is to move to higher ground until the water levels recede and they return.
All right, so we know the situation is imminent. What do they expect from government this time around?
So the people are clear in their desire that the government build either a sea defense to block the water from invading their homes, or like the MC was saying to me in that interview, to dredge the sea, basically collecting sand from the shoreline, deepening the shoreline so that the water levels do not rise beyond the shore heap and cross over into their homes. So, he was citing an example which is being done by a salt mining company in the area 7 Seas, and they basically dredge the sea to accumulate the water in one area and then redirect the water into their manufacturing area. So that saves some of the communities from the tidal waves. And in his argument, it looks like it might be a more cost-effective means of protecting those communities in the meantime. But the absolute desire of the people is to see their homes safe in times like this, so that the water doesn't come into their homes and invade their peaceful living, basically. So they are looking forward to government coming to their aid in that regard. But because that looks like it will not happen in the short days or weeks we have before the water levels may rise again, they are expecting that there should be support for them in times like this, so that when they are dislocated by the water, they can at least provided some basic amenities like mattresses and places of convenience. And that is what the MCE says they are providing for them. They are hoping that this will truly be so and would manifest should the unfortunate happen.
Well, thank you very much for that. That was my colleague Benjamin Aklama reporting from the Volta region.
The campaign team of Dr. Osofri Akoto is confident his performance at the Ministry of Agriculture is enough reason to get him elected as flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party. The campaign team made this claim when they picked the form on behalf of Dr. Osofri Akoto at the party headquarters. Addressing the press after picking the forms, the spokesperson of the campaign, Dr. Prince Amuzu, revealed that the cost of the forms was filtered by farmers and delegates across the country who support his cause.
Farmers across the country indicated interest to do this, and he did not deny them the opportunity. Delegates as well and friends came together to pool resources as a sign of love and support for him, to say they are for him and they want to encourage him to contest. Thank you very much.
Indirectly, we've seen that one of the major campaign messages of Dr. Akoto is the role he's played in the agricultural sector. Do you think that will be enough for him to be elected as a flag bearer?
The impact of Honorable Dr. Osofri Akoto, who was given opportunity to serve Ghana as an agri minister by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, is felt by all and sundry. Around the constituencies and polling stations, farmers have been the biggest beneficiary of his initiatives.
You heard the spokesperson for Dr. Osofri Akoto, Dr. Prince Amuzu. Meanwhile, the NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Osofri Akoto has discredited polls that put his contenders ahead of him. He made this known after receiving nominations forms from his agent, who had picked it up at the party head office on Monday. Addressing the press, Dr. Osofri Akoto asked his followers to ignore the polls, saying they were sponsored by his opponents.
I've been very touched by the confidence shown by my friends, my party supporters, the farmers of Ghana who have put their heads together to raise the necessary amount of money to go to the party headquarters of the MPP to purchase the form for the nomination of a presidential flag bearer. I'm very proud of what you have done, and I'm overwhelmed with the confidence that you have shown in me. And I can assure you, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. We are going to campaign around the country to sell our message for the resuscitation of the MPP as a party.
NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Osu Efria Akoto there.
We'll stay a little while longer with the NPP because the executives in the Ashanti region, led by the party's regional chairman, Bernard Entry-Boesiakun, have called on the government to fast-track processes for the commencement of work on the Swami Interchange project. The executives said the Swami Interchange project remains a major concern for the residents of the Ashanti region, hence government should prioritize its construction and completion. Work is yet to begin on the project after President Akufo-Addo cut short for it last year. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard Entry-Boesiakun, addressing journalists in Kumasi, asked government to act swiftly on the matter.
The regional executives have conglomerated here to pray for the government and pray for Nana Akufo-Addo, for the Ashanti party and Ashanti region to have a favor for the commencement of interchange become the reality, not cutting short. That is why we are permitting His Excellency, the President of the Republic, that still the Ashanti region people are looking upon him. It's not that they are not going to vote. They have already voted for us as it done in 2004, and as they also voted in 2016 and 2020. So this one, when you do the opportunity cost, the scale of preference, although we have a lot of roles in Ashanti, the Ashanti people want, but when you do the scale of preference, the Swami interchange becomes necessary that every Ashanti region, everybody or person is looking forward for the road to become the reality.
Bernard Entry-Boesiakun is the chairman of the New Patriotic Party in the Ashanti region. And back in Accra here in the studios of Citi FM, I'm Wilma Ubobisa-Coleman here with Caleb Kuda. You're listening to the Citi Prime News. Still ahead in the bulletin, North Tongue MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa describes as insensitive and unacceptable the retaining of the COVID-19 levy by government. We'll bring you details of all that and more shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The international football season has just reached fever pitch, and GoTV will be right there for it all. So get settled into your living room stadium because you are coming with us to the epic finales of the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa League, FA Cup, and more. All you have to do is get and stay connected to GoTV, where all the big games keep coming.
Points of world-class difference.
GoTV, love it.
No one stops that.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the independent power producers have declined government's proposal to restructure about $1.58 billion in arrears owed them by the state. This comes as the country aims to cut $10.5 billion in interest payments on its external debt in 3 years to be able to fully implement a $3 billion loan deal from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. According to the IMF staff report on Ghana, there will be renegotiation of contracts with the IPPs that are expected to further reduce costs. Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Power Producers, Distributors and Bulk Consumers, Elikplim Kwabla Agbetobo, has been explaining to Citi News the reason behind the rejection.
The arrears in questions are largely obligations that we have accrued to our key stakeholders, suppliers, lenders, and others. So let me make it clear that the IPPs have defaulted for a fact in their loan repayment schedules and are incurring penalties for non-payment. So imagine someone proposing to restructure a debt that is already overdue and not even a proposal has been made on how do we help solve the situation. I find it difficult to understand from a private investor point of view. This is not investor friendly.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Power Producers, Distributors and Bulk Consumers, Elikplim Kwabla Agbetobo.
The Pensioner Bondholders Forum has postponed its planned picketing at the Ministry of Finance to 1st and 2nd June. After a week of protest, the pensioners suspended the picketing following a meeting with the Finance Ministry where government pledged to pay all outstanding coupons with a promise to engage on a pathway for the payment of principals. However, following government's failure to pay all the coupons and convene a meeting on the principles, the pensioners hinted of another round of picketing at the Finance Ministry today. Citi News checks reveal that planned picketing has now been rescheduled to 1st and 2nd June.
Now, the National Executive of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, TUSAG, is expected to meet to take a decision on whether to embark on a nationwide strike or not. TUSAG have raised concerns over several issues they believe are not being given the needed attention by the government. The concerns include the restoration of fuel allowance for faculty officers at technical universities, the implementation of entertainment allowance for faculty accountants, and the appropriate placement of senior member non-teaching staff at technical universities, among others. Leaders of the group met with government representatives last week to discuss their concerns. National President of the TUSAG, Joseph Mensah Oti Esrifi, spoke to Citi News.
Our decision on the strike as we speak has not changed. From the hearing of the Labour Commission on Wednesday, we expressed our disappointment at the initial outcome, where the Commission was requesting that we suspend our strike and give government up to August and then to resolve the issues and report back. We felt that we are giving too many concessions in terms of time. This matter has been on the table for close to 3 years. Several letters gone back and forth to Fair Wages, to GTEC, to the Ministry of Education, and to our management. And I think that between that time and now, they had the luxury to have worked on the issues that we have raised. The last meeting was at the very commission that we went on Wednesday, where the commission ruled that we start with government and resolve the issue and report back to them on the 18th of January. January 18th up to now, it's 5 months and over. So for the commission to overlook these concessions of time and still request that we go back and use 5 months to resolve the issue, we think that the commission refused to put in its contemplation the time factor of money. And as long as we continue to wait for the government to resolve our issue, people are also losing money. Others are going on pension, and they leave the bracket within which they should get their remuneration. So based on this, those of us who are the commission are reporting back to the National Executive Committee of the outcome of the hearing. We are meeting at 12:30 to consider the termination of the commission and then gauge the mood of our members and then report to the National Council.
You heard that the national president of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, Joseph Mensah Oti Esirifi. Now, Member of Parliament for North Tong Okujetu Ablakwa has described as insensitive and unacceptable government's decision to maintain the COVID-19 health levy. The president, in his 29th COVID-19 update, said COVID-19 levy will continue to be in place despite calls for its removal. The business community and other stakeholders have in times past called for the scrapping of the 1% levy, citing dire financial consequences on their businesses. However, in an interview with Citi News, the North Tone legislator Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa says the bill must be scrapped.
It's marks of bad faith and insincerity for President Akufo-Addo to lift all restrictions and indicate that we are back to the pre-COVID era. And yet, what has been a defining feature for the COVID era, which is the COVID-19 levy, the president did not announce that that tax handle will be abolished. That is the height of insensitivity. It is totally unacceptable. You do not tell us that you are introducing the COVID-19 levy to help manage COVID. Now COVID is over and you are maintaining it. You have also introduced the e-levy, saying that you need the e-levy to help us stay away from the IMF. Now we are in the IMF program. We've gone for a bailout which has been approved, and yet you say nothing about the e-levy tax handle. So we are seeing a president and a government that doesn't keep its word, it's not sincere, cannot be trusted, and even more worrying, does not appear to be conscious about the plight of Ghanaians, the business community, and the entire country, which is currently languishing under the pain and the anguish that their bad policies and abysmal economic management has brought upon the people. We have always said, time without number, that it is not just an issue to do with revenue mobilization. Government must also look at the expenditure side of things. So you must look at both ways. You can't always just be raising revenue, and yet government refuses to tighten its belt. Government refuses to be prudent, to be frugal.
Reacting to the president's assertion that his government never benefited from the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Ablakwa says the president's words cannot be trusted.
If you read the IMF country report on Ghana, the IMF insists that they ask for the COVID-19 audit as a prior action, or if you like, as a conditionality. Just read page 22 of the country report. Now the president is claiming that the audit was done at his instigation. So who do we believe? Both cannot be speaking the truth. And if you look at the president's track record, I am inclined to believe the IMF, because in Parliament, we were calling for an audit many months ago. The president and his government refused. Indeed, we wrote even to the Auditor General. We didn't get any response. More than a year before the IMF made this, I am inclined to believe the IMF. If the IMF had not made this COVID-19 audit a conditionality, it would not have been done.
Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa is Member of Parliament for North Tong. Meanwhile, the business community is unhappy about government's move. Executive Director for the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asaki Awingobit, says more businesses continue to reel under the impact of the levy.
Well, I still believe that should not be the way to go. If President is proposing that the COVID has come to stay, the levies have come to stay, and as a result of government made some expenses or whatever, and think that it's not right for government to take it up. I completely disagree with the president for this for once. Not just only COVID levies that we are requesting that it should go up the books, but we are also asking that government should also abolish the special import levy and then the financial recovery levy. These are levies, including the COVID levy. These are levies that we strongly believe that they came with sunset clauses. And if it's a sunset clauses, they came with sunset clauses, that means for a specific period, they have to go off the books. We cannot compromise or we cannot agree to the extent that it should become a norm or it should become part of government revenue for the year. I strongly believe that if anything has to be done, I think government should also think about the plight of the ordinary Ghanaians suffering at this point in time and should not impose this COVID levy to be part of government revenue for accounting for purpose. I don't think so.
Samson Nasaki Awingobit is Executive Director for the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana.
The Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, says its outfit is still in the market surveying other factors that could possibly lead to the reduction of fares. On May 24, 2023, GPRTU said it was making deliberate efforts to conclude on the appropriate percentage of the reduction of fares. This comes on the back of its statement on May 23, 2023, explaining that the reduction of fares on May 17, 2023 was made without the standard survey of the market to ensure that prices of other components, which is also a key determinant of fares in the country, was taken into consideration.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has commenced a week-long revenue mobilization exercise aimed at recouping debt on its books. This marks the second aggressive effort by the company to recover debts, as it fell short of its initial target of 5 billion cedis in the previous exercise. Colin Bushdid, a board member of ECG, expressed optimism that customers would settle their debts to ensure the company's continued operation.
We have been interacting with customers. We have been to 2 places, and this is the 3rd place. We had an opportunity to check their last payments that they had made and found that everything was in order, which is good. Here too, we have the commitment of the customer to make payments, up-to-date payments, and this exercise is a week-long exercise this time, and so we'll be back. Our teams will be back to check that payments have been made, and we actually encourage all customers to make payments when they should. Disconnection is a last option. It is not something that the company wants to engage in, and therefore we would like customers to honor their commitments for the electricity that they've used, and our teams will be engaging with them and finding out the payments that they've made, and will not just be going around disconnecting for the sake of disconnection. We want you to be using the electricity, but we also need you to be paying for the electricity.
Colin Bushdid is a board member of the Electricity Company of Ghana. We're joined over the phone lines by my colleague Fred Duho, who is with the Revenue Mobilization team, to find out more. Good afternoon, Fred. Many thanks for joining us. This is the second aggressive effort by the company to recover debts. And where have you been and what can you report?
Yes, Wilma, the exercise began this morning with all the top hierarchy to the very least person, obviously, within the ECG organization, moving out to mobilize their revenue. And so far, I am currently the company of the Accra West region, and they have been within their jurisdiction trying to mobilize revenue from their customers. We moved to specifically the risk and compliance unit or center of the Ghana Standards Authority. We've moved to Busy Internet, also located on the top of Sunny FM, and some other organizations that are, bigger companies on the books of ECG, and they've engaged them actually. What happens is that the media is sometimes not allowed into this engagement because of the privacy the company want to ensure with its clients or customers. But we have the CRO of the Accra West region with us to share with us what the engagement has been with the customers so far. So we have Fred Bentley-Johnson, the CRO of Accra West region, with us. Tell us, what has the exercise been about so far?
Also, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your listeners. As was announced on the
last week of every month, ECG is undertaking this exercise to have all our staff, management, and everyone move out of the office. And the aim of this exercise is to go out there and retrieve as much as possible all the debts owed us by customers, and also if there are persons who are engaged in illegalities, to be able to fish them out and then correct it and surcharge them. Now, today is day one of the exercise, and as you would know, usually as a company, when it comes to such exercises, disconnection is often our last resort. So for everywhere we go, even when on our books it's clear that the customers we engage these customers to be sure of what the plans are. We've been to several places, as you mentioned. Some have made payments, others have spoken to us. We've gotten into an arrangement. Because it's a 1 week exercise, they have some days from now to make these payments to us, and we shall return to check their books. If we come back and they've made payment, then it means the relationship continues. But if we come back and they are still owing, then it means by the end of the week, we may be forced to put their power off. So far, it's been day one, and been more of engagement and trying to alert our customers who are still in debt with us that we are out here to disconnect if they don't make full payment to us.
Why has it become so necessary for some? I saw a board member of ECG also joining this particular exercise today, and probably what has been the engagement and what experience has she been sharing with you as far as her participation is concerned?
Well, I think the first exercise we had from the 20th of March to 20th of April was largely successful. And this exercise is obviously one that has the blessing of our board. And so if you're asking our staff to go onto the field, it only gets to encourage the staff. If we have top management members also coming down, joining the teams, moving onto the field, interacting with customers, because then it gives them a field sense of what really staff go through when we undertake such exercises. So I believe that for staff, we are buoyed by the fact that such persons have moved away from their office and joined us on the field. And it's been an interesting exercise so far.
Let's narrow it down a bit to, revenue-wise, where ECG, probably the previous exercise, had a target of 5.4 billion Ghana cedis, and they were able to recoup about 3.1 billion. What is the target for this one, or probably your region specifically? What are you also hoping to achieve?
So currently what we are doing is we are collecting every debt holder. So even for April bills, which have been shared, after 14 days, they are due for payment. So if you've had your bill and the 14-day maximum period is up, it means we must be collecting these monies as well. So it's all monies owed us. It's not, we're not looking at old debts, neither are we looking at new ones. We're looking at every money that every customer owes us. So once we come, we engage, you look at your books, see what your last payment was, what your last bill was. If there's any outstanding, then we must collect it from you.
Are you mapping out any other strategies?
Well, it's a 1 week exercise. So I believe that as day one is almost, since we are still in day one, we will be picking the learnings. But as I said, it's not just about taking debt holders. We are also looking out for illegalities. So where there's information that there are any illegalities anywhere, where we go to various days and realize that they've engaged in illegalities, we will indeed disconnect them, and then when necessary, surcharge them and put them before the court as well.
Wilma, so this is the day one of the exercise, and so far the ECG is making inroads and making progress, trying to engage customers from one customer to the other and hoping to recoup some debts on his books. And generally, I would say it's been peaceful so far, no incidents, and the customers are also complying with the ECG's directive for them to pay their debts.
Well, thank you very much for that update. That was my colleague Fred Duho, who is with the ECG Revenue Mobilization Task Force that has just commenced a week-long revenue exercise aimed at recouping debts on its books. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, residents of Teshi call on government to immediately rehabilitate inner roads in the Lejokuku municipality. We have details shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
1xBet jackpot is here with weekly massive prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is place your bets on any sports game and stand a chance to win. Simply register at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code JackpotGhana and place your bets. 1xBet is your key to great victories. Feel like a winner. 1xBet. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Kid that collects straight A's in your sleep, a brainy brains that aces quizzes without even trying, or a clever clogs that knows just about everything, then there's one more battle you have to win: the Literacy Challenge. The nationwide search for the best junior high student is on. Think it could be you going home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, write a story that ends with the following statement: the happiest people do not have the best of everything, they make the best of everything they have. Stories should be written in your own handwriting with the deadline of Saturday, the 15th of July, 2023 in mind. Submissions must include an endorsement by a parent or guardian and their full contact details. And once you're done, shoot off your entries to the front desk of Citi TV or Citi FM. Or you can send entries to PO Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For more inquiries, call 0558 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV and supported by Citi FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, residents of Teshi in the Lejokuku municipality in Accra have called on government to immediately begin rehabilitation works on all inner roads. The residents bemoan the deplorable roads are negatively affecting commuting in the township, hence the need for urgent action. Citi News' Kennedy Chumesi visited the community and has come through with this report read by Kweku Eduama Ansa.
The La Beach project is one of government's major initiatives within the road sector. It begins at the Independence Arc at the Black Star Square in Accra through Osu, La, Teshi and Tunungwa. According to the MCE for the Lejokuku Municipal Assembly, Mordecai Kwashi, the road projects within Teshi and Nungwa are 80% complete. Residents are, however, concerned about ongoing works at Teshi Mobile as they lament inadequate safety measures put in place to prevent danger. Some residents who spoke to Citi News said the construction works have made it difficult to access their homes, while some residents say they have resorted to being extremely cautious while using the stretch.
We have cases. This house particularly, we have like most cases, like almost 15 cases here. And it's affecting us greatly. You see, kids cannot cross. We have to carry them in our back and cross. So if you are not vigilant or something, you and the kid will fall in the ditch. Yeah, it has happened severally, which we can attest to it. Yeah, they tell us they are on course, they will come and do it today, tomorrow, and it's still going on. Yeah. The last deadline they gave us was like last week that they will come and construct the gutter so that everybody will be free. But as we are talking today, it's not that they are leveling the ground so that they can construct the gutter.
They started it for a long time. And if you go from First Junction to Nungwa and from Kofi Annan to Labadi, they are finished. But we don't know the reason why they left this place. So from last week that we saw that they have started doing it, we are all happy. Because sometimes if you come out from your house, you can't even cross the street. You don't know how to get out from your house. So we are all talking about it. So We are happy that they are doing it. So we beg them, they should finish it for us. We are suffering. The mosquitoes are biting us. We are all getting malaria. So we beg them, they should finish it for us.
At the time of City News' visit, the contractor and his team had returned to site to continue with the project. MCE for Lojokuku Municipal Assembly, Mordecai Kwashi, in an interview with City News, indicated that all safety concerns raised by the residents will be tackled following the relocation of a pipeline which was impeding the construction of the road.
We had some crash barriers around, most of all along there had been crashed. Those things that, like cement, you have to lift to the crane, what I'm talking about. We had around it to protect people from falling inside, especially the vehicles and even pedestrians from falling inside. That has been there. Only recently, just recently, that those things were moved temporarily because they were required elsewhere. And that is what we raised in the site meeting. And that is why the contractor is back on the location doing what he's supposed to do. So I believe that in a couple of days, you would see that that issue will not even be there anymore for us to talk about. The road construction going on smoothly, and in a couple of months, by end of Q1, this stretch will be done.
The MCE also assured residents of Lojokuku that the government, through the assembly, will begin construction of inner roads by the second quarter of this year.
Hopefully by Q2, work will begin on it, and the residents should expect to see the road, the internal roads that have been damaged through the diversions and so on. All of them should be fixed. The work ought to begin from Q2, and we should see a rapid improvement in the work that we're doing.
The report was filed by City News' Kennedy Chumisi and read by Kweku Eduama Ansa.
Let's stay in the Lojokuku Municipal Assembly because the Assembly has announced the immediate commencement of rehabilitation works on several inner roads in Teshi. The Assembly says inner roads in Triblew, Lekma to Ajom and Runabout, Fertilizer Road and the Kinkote roads will be rehabilitated immediately. The Assembly also revealed its commitment to address the poor conditions of the inner roads in Gweda Estates, Teshi La Scala and the entire Coffee Street at Teshi after the initial rehabilitation projects are completed. During a media briefing, the Municipal Chief Executive Mordecai Kwashi expressed confidence in the timely completion of these road works.
As I speak, contractor is on site to do immediately the following roads. Triblew Road from Lekma Hospital to Ajoman roundabout. Fertilizer Road, Ajoman roundabout to First Junction. Kinkote Road, which is the third one, from Manfi Junction to Yomo Specs. That is 1.2 kilometers. That is also stone base and asphalting. And then the Numo Mashi Road, Mobile to Triblew last stop. That one also stone base and asphalting. These four projects are going to be done immediately. But those are not the only roads that are going to be done. A lot more roads are going to be done. Coffee Street, after these four projects are done, Coffee Street, the entire Coffee Street will also be done again. Obedeka Road, Chuenshi Market to La Scala, A Street, Greater Estate, 3rd Avenue, Greater Estate, 3rd Avenue Extension, Greater Estate, Ford Road. All these roads are going to be resurfaced in the next few weeks.
Mordecai Kwashi is MC for Lojokuku.
Away from that, the Minister of the Interior, Ambrose Derry, has called on the Ghana Police Service to expedite investigations and bring perpetrators of an attack on some immigration officers at Boko to book. Unknown gunmen on April 3 attacked immigration officers, leading to the death of Assistant Inspector Philip Mote. Speaking on behalf of the minister at a ceremony to honor 4 immigration officers who intervened to rescue their colleagues during the attack, Chief Director at the Ministry of the Interior, Adelaide Anokumi, expressed government's commitment to retool the immigration service while urging the police to deal with the perpetrators of the crime.
As we honor these officers, allow me to also use this occasion to applaud the Ghana National Ambulance Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, and the military personnel, and the medical personnel who play diverse roles to bring the situation under control. We must understand that working together makes us stronger. Collaboration among security agencies was highly exhibited during this crisis. We should continue to be each other's keeper and support, and continue to exhibit the camaraderie spirit. Let us work collaboratively for the benefit of our country, Ghana. Furthermore, I urge the Ghana Police Service to expedite efforts in the investigation to bring the perpetrators to the crime to book.
Adelaide Anokumi is the Chief Director at the Ministry of the Interior. Meanwhile, the 4 officers who demonstrated bravery in rescuing their 3 other colleagues have been promoted. Here is Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, Kwame Isuatechi, speaking at an event to honor the officers.
Their experience were able to respond swiftly. It is for this reason that the response team must be commended for their speedy intervention. Let me use this opportunity to reiterate the gratitude of the service to the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, and the National Ambulance Service for their respective roles in addressing the unfortunate situation. It is my firm belief that appreciating today's heroes is a sure way of encouraging more heroic acts in the future. With the approval of the Governing Council and the management of the service, we are promoting these brave and gallant men to their next ranks as a matter of honor to them, and the way of encouraging more of such selfless intervention in the face of danger.
Kwame Isuatechi is the Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service.
Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been sworn in as the 16th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Tinubu succeeds former President Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressive Congress as the new leader of Nigeria. His vice, Kashim Shettima, was also sworn into office. The swearing, which took place at the Eagle Square in Abuja, had in attendance heads of state of neighboring African countries, including Ghana's President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Tinubu was declared winner of the country's elections by the Independent National Elections Commission on the 25th of February this year. While taking his oath, he swore not to let his personal interests get in the way of his governance of the nation.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Bola Ahmed Tinubu do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties and perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, and faithfully in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, that I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th schedule.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Nigeria's president.
And that's all time would allow us for on the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Wilma Ububisa Coleman, and this afternoon I was here with
Caleb Kuda.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the City Business News. Many thanks for doing the listening, and do stay tuned to City FM.